Hi, my name is Diane Rippoloni. I teach Earth Science at Cardinal Gibbons High School in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Our story begins with the novel Rocket Boys. I had given my class an assignment this semester to read the novel Rocket Boys. Once they started the assignment, I decided to incorporate some of it into the National Geographic lesson. I started with the longitude-latitude lesson and then expanded on the lesson. Eventually, I incorporated two parts to the assignment. The first part had students use a map maker. MapMaker was used throughout the whole project. It was the technology used to analyze and predict the patterns seen between the relationship of geology and a state's resources. They also used tabletop maps. Their observations addressed the skills and the knowledge areas of the learning framework. This is where our Rocket Boys project played a role. Students evaluated and concluded that coal mining, which is a major resource in West Virginia, was a result of the geological formations in the area. They determined that this played a major role in the economy of Colwood and other towns in West Virginia.
Yeah, the coal was very important because West Virginia is known for the coal and the geological makeup underground. It's really resourceful, and in the book it talks about how the whole town of Colwood is based on the mining company and coal, and we could really understand why it's so important to them because their entire area around them is for coal.
Students compared the state resources, climate, and geological features to other parts of the globe. This took the lesson from being a regional lesson to a more global. To enhance the analysis part of the lesson, I had students complete an assignment on their residing state, North Carolina. Using resources on the internet, students identified and compiled a list of resources within the state. They identified geological makeup while building the relationship between resources and geology.
North Carolina. And we learned about the resources that are in North Carolina and the belts that we're on and where we are and in relation to the resources around us and the kind of makeup of the state.
The different minerals like
Students labeled their maps with legends and used an online resource to label all resources on the map. Once they finished, they compared North Carolina to some place in the world that had the same resources.
We could really compare where we live to other people around the world and what their geological makeup's like and where their living is and how it relates to everybody.
The eventual outcome had students beginning to recognize the relationship between a state's natural resources and its geological makeup. This led to some students discussing sustainability and management of natural resources,
Really better understand what's around us and why it's important.
which in turn led many of them to discuss environmental issues and problems we face with these non-renewable resources. This was a great ending to the lesson. Students presented their work at the end and completed a 3-2-1 formative assessment on Google Classroom. The lesson addressed many of the learning framework areas: problem solving, observation, our living planet, and new frontiers.